Hey!
Hi!
How are
How's it
you doing? I'm just
going?
going to turn the volume up.
Can you hear me okay over here?
We can, yes.
I'm all the way over here.
You're so far away.
Well, I have to show you things, but I can
I understand.
easily come to you.
Before
I have
we
another
start
chair too.
talking about things, I just want to applaud you again at another great photo shoot, isolation fashion photo shoot.
Oh, well, thank you. Cameron and I take the inspiration from Casey and Lane Hinton, so we run with it. Yeah.
I think it's great. I was going to do it yesterday, and then I ended up being in meetings all day long. So, and you put out such a amazing, crazy photo shoot that I feel a lot of pressure. And so I didn't do it because I didn't think I was going to live up to the challenge.
Well, I mean, I had a super rough week at work. I work at OCAD and I do international partnerships. And of course, a lot of our international projects for students are being canceled. Right. So we weren't going to do it. I was sitting on the couch moping. And then I was like, we have to do this photo shoot. We need to do something exciting. So yeah.
I'm sorry, but yeah, work sounds stressful.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, I'm lucky to still be working right now, but it's also hard to be doing so from home. And also a lot of the people I work with are in all different time zones. So it's a little wild, but it's good.
Yeah. Any can you talk about what that's like right now? Do they have any plans on how they're going to move forward with bringing students over, or is that is everything kind of grinding to a halt at the moment?
A lot of it's kind of on hold. We're really trying to focus on doing more stuff where students work with each other remotely, like doing online collaborations and things as well. I think all over the world, decisions need to be made about when in-person classes happen, how long will be online, so that all depends. And then of course the variable of will borders open? So we can't really plan to send people abroad. And then we are looking for ways to support international students regardless, online or coming to Toronto. Some of them are still in Toronto, of course. So there's just so many moving pieces, and we can predict, but then everyone's like, who knows? And it changes every day. Yeah. So all the projects I'm working on where we have students who are supposed to be working collaboratively with students in other places of the world, we're gonna right now try to still do that online.
That's good. I mean, at least we have this. I mean.
Oh, I know. If this had happened 10, 15 years ago, it'd be so different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine? They'd be asking everybody to record VHS movies of their lectures and mail it out to people.
Oh my gosh! And they'd wheel the TV. They'd wheel the TV in the cart. But the school would only have 3 TVs in a cart, so everyone would have to take turns. And they'd have to take the VHS of Telefrancais out, and then they'd have to put in the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about if this was during VHS times. I was thinking even worse than that, where there was no, where we would have to be reading a lot of books and just
books.
Staring
crazy. No, it's good. I mean, there is weirdly a lot of time for stuff we don't usually have time for, and spending time with each other if you're trapped with other people. So yeah.
It's true. We got little X's and O's there. Can you see the comments that come up too, Jenny? Oh, you're frozen. Maybe we're both frozen? Are you back?
I can, but then as soon as I move over there, I won't see the comment.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you're cutting in and out. I don't know. Which one of us is cutting in and out right now? Is it just Jenny, or is it all? Is rural Wi-Fi winning right now? Because
it's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible.
All right, so we've picked 3 things from our flat files to share.
Cool.
And they're all paper goods because that's kind of where we're at right now, is going through all of our, hey, Ron, going through all of our,
I think I maybe have to lower this.
we might need to lower it. We were trying to figure out how Instagram deals with splitting the screen in half. We were wrong.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to switch to my network so we don't have internet problems. So give me a second. LTE or whatever that is. Hold on.
Okay. So the internet's great, but it also can be a real pain because, this happens. Are you back? That was easy.
Can you see me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was watching
Okay, when I get the bill for $100 later.
Sweet. I've been watching Miley Cyrus a lot recently live, and her internet cuts in and out all the time, so whatever. Sames. And so you're in your studio.
Yes.
Right? Which is like closest to your house?
Sort of. I mean, usually it can be about a half-hour drive, but now there's no one on the road. So it took me about 15 minutes to get here. And I share a studio with Anda Kubis. Shout out to Anda. And right now, in behind the camera is all her amazing paintings underway. We're facing, I have like a little work setup area here. Right now, I've been working on some molds and things. I'll show you. And then this is the glory here that you're seeing in the background of working in installation art, where you have to put it somewhere afterwards. So I do have flat files, but they're at my house.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be more exciting to show you when you're from working in 2D, what happens, what your flat files become. And I have these awesome custom cases made for me by Leah, who I used to work with at OCAD, and so I can open up some of them and show you what's inside.
I love that. I think it's nice to see what happens with installation stuff, and all the installation stuff we work on with you is either at your house or in my sister's.
Yeah.
So
I just moved some of our work to the shower. It lives in the shower. Yeah. So.
Love it. I love shower storage. Who needs to bathe?
No, I mean, we have another shower. Don't worry.
Right.
Just be clear.
Okay. So we'll have you start with your first thing, and then we'll go after, and then you'll go, and then we'll go, like that. It'll be like a back and forth.
Okay, sounds good.
You can show us whatever your first show and tell is. It's like,
okay, so my first show and tell has multiple components because it is the Treehouse project. Yes. So it is a project that I wanted to share because it's one of the first ones that I worked really collaboratively with members of the public. And the first time I did it was for a residency at the Varley. And I would sit and invite people to come in. It started with people drawing what they wanted for their dream treehouse. So thinking about how it's sort of this quintessential idea of childhood that we all think of, and none of us actually had it. And it's also very like an outdated way of thinking of the access to space or time or anything that people have. And then, of course, you'd have a few people who'd come in and be like, I had a treehouse. And you're like, it's nice to meet you. So I wanted to share a bit about the process. So what I would do is then would take the ideas, and it was really cool to see how people remembered and held on to these ideas like for their whole life, because it was mostly adults. When people see the drawings, often they're like, oh, it's so cute what all these kids drew. And I was like, that person was in their 40s. So, but I wanted it to be that you didn't have to be an artist or even someone who felt like they had the ability to draw, to tell their stories, or to kind of reconnect with those memories they had when they were a kid. And then when we would work together, we would have conversations about like, why do we not have these things? Like what, why is this a symbol that we use, but it's not a sign that we actually usually have. So what I then did is I went and I made tangible versions of the things that they had imagined, but they're all in miniature. So something that was cool that brought it to life, but of course there was also that limitation that they would never actually really be able to fully realize it. So I thought first I'd share some of the drawings. I just pulled randomly, because they're so nicely wrapped from the last exhibition space they were in, I randomly pulled out whatever was on the top.
Love it. This is the project. Jenny came and worked on part of this at the studio. She was just going through the drawing phase, like I don't know if you're showing the drawings that people did or your kind of model.
No, the ones that people did. Yeah.
Drawings. And I like fell in love with it and was like, we should show this somewhere here. And then working with Jenny, something I've learned is if you're like, maybe you could bring this over to my house. And then she's like, okay, let's have an entire event. It's going to be 7 seconds and I'm going to invite an army. And yeah, so it was like, let's show these tree houses somewhere. And then it turned into like 2 exhibitions and then a full weekend, essentially festival with crazy games, which was wonderful. And I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is actually saying this project I was working collaboratively, and at the same time I started working a lot with Sarah Udo doing projects as Crazy Games, where we're talking about city building with people who are not always necessarily engaged in that process and doing so through an arts-based lens. Okay, so people drawing their tree houses. I pulled a couple, and then I'll show you some of the models I've made from it. So this is a random pulling that I pulled out. So this house is a pizza house. And remember, keep in mind, these are adults who have made these. For the most part, I don't turn children away, but those of you who know me know how awkward I am with children. Okay, so
Jennie, if you hold it like closer to your face, just because all the comments are up in front of it, and I don't actually know how to make that not happen. Yeah, that's
not either. Okay. I mean, it's really about the concept. So and it's also backwards, I think, for people.
It is.
So I believe this entire treehouse is actually a slice of pizza.
Oh, okay.
And there's a pool, but it kind of looks like it says poo, but I'm pretty sure they meant pool. And it really just features an eating table and then another room for all sorts of pizza. So we're not limiting pizza here. There's all sorts. There are 2 pools, actually.
Well,
what else?
It's that symmetry.
Yeah. Oh, this is really good. So one thing a lot of the tree houses forget is a bathroom. So this person, I think they were already thinking about eating and the natural digestion processes. So they put a bathroom. They also put an entrance with an elevator, so it's accessible.
Nice.
They also have doors with stairs. And then this is really great, emergency exit. So
that is some good planning right there.
That's some good planning.
I feel like it's probably modified it since their childhood. Like, I think the adult brain was like, some essentials in here that I was missing.
Yes, that's true. And then I also like the way that sometimes when we would have children engage, they make something really practical and they're like, here's my dream house. And then an adult's like, it's a spaceship. So
Sarah's asking you to show her dad's.
Oh, it's hidden. But I'm going to show the sculpture based on your dad, Sarah. So here, I'll just show a couple more. This is really nice. A traditional sort of tree house, very Bernstein Bear style.
Love it.
They've thought of everything. But here's really important. Bridge, spa. They put a spa.
Yes. What's
mushroom spa.
Sorry?
Please let it be a troll.
Like, the bridge had, like, hanging shit coming from it?
Oh, those are monkey bars. You're correct.
Oh, yes. Love that.
Mm-hmm. There's also a guest room.
Smart. I thought that said goose, but I like that it says guest.
Yeah. This one here, again, very traditional house layout. Mom has a room. There's a mom room. But very nice and traditional. But I wanted to share this one because over here, it says, this is where you die. And I think they meant if you try to come in, like if you invade it.
Oh, it's like a trap. It's like a trap for intruders.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Okay.
And then real quickly, I'll show a couple more because I want to show this one because I don't think I was actually there because sometimes I leave them in the museum or whatever the public space is for people to draw. And I wasn't there for this one, but I really identify with this one because it says, my dad's obsession with Buckminster Fuller domes in the 1970s. And my dad also has a very strong obsession with Buckminster Fuller domes, which shaped my childhood.
Sure.
And then also, why not? Here's Carrie Ann Moss from The Matrix floating nearby.
Yeah.
Why not? And then the last one I'll share is it's shaped like a giant cat.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
Eye telescopes. The ears are speakers. And there's just some crotch doors.
Yeah. Or feet.
Yeah. Yeah, feet.
But doors, little paws, doors that are paws.
Adorable.
Adorable.
Adorable. So what I did is I then went and made models of them. And a lot of the models are hybrids of like shared ideas people have, but a couple of them are direct representations of what people told me specifically. So here's one that is Sarah's dad's drawing. I think he was actually trying to like trick me, being like, there's no way you can make this. And I was like, haha. So this one's really cool because this was made about halfway through the project, which is
I've never seen this one, Jennie.
Yeah, this is new.
Oh,
So
great.
this one's been made halfway through, and one thing that I didn't expect as much in this process is it's actually not just collaborative with engaging with people making the work. It's actually like pretty collaborative with me pulling it off and working with people in the studio. So I have a bunch of awesome studio assistants who I'm now going to name very rapidly. Jasmine, Brianna, Francis, Kat, Jonathan, Kayla, Jess, and Vicky.
Amazing. Cat stuff.
And so Kat actually CNC'd this.
Oh,
Yeah, so we made a drawing, and then Kat did like cut it into the foam. Do you see? It's like
yes.
and so this is the first time we worked with that. So sometimes we were like running into these limitations where these crazy ideas people had, we didn't know how to make them easily, and then we were able to do it. And then for this one, Jasmine and Brianna made all these tiny furniture.
Oh my gosh. So Jenny, we had Josh send us like photos of and then anybody who participated, or if you're sharing like all of the studio assistants, if they have Instagram handles, send those to me. I'll post everything after.
I will. And they all have super awesome practices. And I met most of them when they were students at OCAD, and it was really cool to then be working with them outside of school. And so just to wrap up this one, I want to show you where you have to put all this stuff later.
Yeah.
So I got these pretty awesome.
But no. Bring us over there.
But I have a tripod set up. Here, I'll bring it to you. Hey, look. Ta-da!
What? That's so nice.
These crates have gone back and forth of Canada a couple times. And so this one doesn't have a model. This one's actually for all the extra pieces that go in all the different models.
Yay!
So we have little trees, little pussy willows. Here's
so it's all paper,
one of them.
Jenny, everything's paper, right? Pretty
much.
Yes,
everything's paper. Mylar as well. And then that one is the one I just showed is the first time we worked with styrofoam as well. Other than foam core being used for bases. So and then there's more hidden in here, which won't open. Here we go.
Yes, I remember when they showed up for us to put them in at the Drake Devonshire, and I was like, what? Because it was so lovely.
Yeah. So
organized,
you do have to find places for all these, but so that's the treehouse project.
I tried to build myself a tree fort. Well, I mean, just a fort. We didn't have a tree that it could go into when I was in elementary school. And I brought all of the wood that was in my parents' shed out into the lawn, and then basically just stacked it like Lego into we never had Lego as children, into like a square. And then I realized that I didn't actually make a door for myself to get into the structure, and I just was sitting like outside crying, and my dad came out and was
no. I didn't have a tree house, but I did have, when my parents brought home their first plastic compost bin, I like curled up inside of it. Yeah.
You know,
fun.
Whatever works.
Well, I did also for a while have a tent in the living room, so
that works. I think forts inside are good. We've done before.
I think maybe actually anyone right now take that idea, set up your tent if you have a living room, make your own, make a blanket fort. Sarah and I can send you blankets if you need.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a few. Okay. Our first one is, because we haven't had residents here in what feels like an eternity. Yes. We decided we wanted to share the work by the most recent resident we had. So these are prints by Raphael, and he stayed with us in November. So we, like, as you know, we took like some extra time off in the winter so that we could like prep some other projects we wanted to work on, and now we just have like more time. So yeah, we haven't had anybody here since the like beginning of November, and Raphael came to learn screen printing and like just play in the studio making screen prints, and he made like so many screen prints. It's
kind
pretty
of crazy.
Yeah.
With a resident where they'll be like, yeah, I want to learn screen printing. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. You're going to teach you how to make one screen print. You're going to be here for like 3 weeks. It's going to be one. I think the time that Raphael was here, like he made like 12 different editions, each with like 20
Wow.
prints, and they're all like 5 or 6 colors.
Cool. I love the colors.
I love the
Yeah.
colors, and he also, so he works a lot in like drawing and illustration. So something I loved about Raphael's work was that he was like constantly just playing with Mylars and like putting down different textures onto them and shooting them on the screens to see what they looked like. And then layering these like drawings. So we bought these opaque markers last SGC, and they're the best for making like hand-drawn stencils. We really like them. So I like them because they kind of end up looking a little bit more like lithos.
Yeah.
Screen prints, because there's like all this really good texture that's going on in areas that like maybe were a bit too thin. Like you can kind of see
The scratchiness.
the scratch.
Right?
Can you see that like scratch?
Yeah. One of the coolest things, one of the prints that one of my students made when I was teaching screen printing was they took Mylar, but they found like Mylar with like a real tooth on it, and then took both like children's crayons and oil pastels and just scraped it. And the children's crayons like print like it's a crayon drawing. It's great.
Well, that's kind of what he was doing. So he was just like constantly making all these marks on everything. And yeah, they looked really nice. And then they were all like scenes of like people in the county. So,
oh, amazing. Can you tell who it is?
No, but don't you know, isn't there like a saying about like there's always like one construction worker just like staring at a hole while like one person's working and the rest are just standing around? No offense to construction workers, you work really hard. That was, but I have heard that saying.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I share the first time I did a residency with you guys? I went to the Metro and the grocery store, and I was walking near the end of the parking lot, and someone was driving out of the parking lot and pulled out and almost hit another car that was out on the street. And then the woman who almost hit the other car, it was summer, so everyone's windows were down, and she was like, "Oh, sorry, Kathy," and they were like, "It's okay, Tina," and they knew each other.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
It's really like that right now. There's usually tourism booming here, so it's just like only locals out. But yeah, we wanted to just show some of Raphael's work because it was nice having him, and it was nice, like, he was a great resident, so it's good that like the last person we had was so lovely and made a crazy amount of work, and
nice.
We miss having people here, but you know.
Yeah, he was here in November, and that's the last time we've had a resident.
Wow.
And in 10 years, this is the longest stretch that we've had the house to ourselves.
Yeah.
So no pants ever.
No, I'm wearing, actually this outfit is mostly sponsored by Jennie Suddick. These pants
I was like, wait, I have those pants. Oh wait, no, those are my pants.
This is fine.
There's been a lot of like voice chats where it's like business on the top and like just pajamas on the bottom.
Yeah. Well, today I switched from a tracksuit to a dress made out of a tracksuit.
Yeah, yes. That counts.
Yes, thank you for motivating me to get dressed. Yeah.
And on a holiday, nonetheless.
I know. Yeah.
All right. What's next up?
So my next one is Top Secret Sneak Peek. A current project that Anna Rose and so I've collaborated with Anna Rose, who's based in Italy. She's American based in Italy, and I met her through collaborating through my job at OCAD. She worked with us to connect the students when I was teaching in Florence with local practitioners within the art and design scene in Florence. And we've become really close and really thinking about how we're thinking about the same things in our work, but also coming at it from different perspectives and from different contexts. So we have in the past year have been developing a top secret project that's still top secret because we haven't signed the contract yet because all the museums closed.
Yeah.
So I'll speak about it in vague terms, but I'll let you deduce and speculate wildly. So we're working with a museum to make replica objects of their permanent collection. And so we went in and looked at objects that seemed a little ambiguous, seemed like a bit of a human scale as well, things that you can maybe pick up. But of course, when we go to museums, we can't touch them, we can't play with them. So we wanted to kind of give into that urge and make these replicas. And so some of these replicas are what I'm going to show you.
Sweet.
While I show you, I'll tell you more about the project. And they're bouncy replicas.
They're bouncy replicas?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing is, so it's a multi-stage project, but I'll tell you the stage that relates specifically to the replicas, and then the rest will remain a mystery. And when museums open, this project will happen, in theory. But it's definitely delayed for at least a year now. So I get to show it to you, and then I probably get to put it in a box for a while, and then it'll come out again. So what we're going to do is take these replica objects. So here's one of the museum collection. I just took this out of the mold like 20 minutes ago, so we haven't trimmed down the seams or anything yet. But these are all made out of silicone. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
And then here's another object.
Okay,
We call it, so Jasmine and Vicky have been working in the studio with me, and we have little names for all of these. And this is the cow pig.
Wait. Okay. So you're making replicas, but you can't touch the museum objects?
No. So what we're doing is we're first sculpting. So Jasmine actually made this one. It had a little heart. Oh, his leg fell off. That's fine, because we already made the mold. So we make out of an oiled base, out of an oiled base plasticine. We have, so last summer, was it last summer? I think it was just last summer. Anna and I got to go with the curator and the archivist through the museum collection. And we got to hear the context and the story of all the pieces. And what's so interesting too is because these are hundreds and hundreds of years old, some of them, they also were just speculating what they are. So we're kind of existing. And, you know, if you maybe found these things in a museum 200 years from now, they would have a totally different reading of what they are, or a different technology to be able to deduce how they were used. So we specifically picked things either that could be seen as like ambiguous, like this thing, boop, boop, boop. Yeah. So these are flexible and soft because they're going to be done for workshops with children where we give them the pieces and they have to invent games that would be built around these. So the project, oh wait, maybe I can't tell you what the project is called. Never mind. It's exciting. You can't wait. So here are also some, these are more clear what they are. These are some coins.
Yes. Are these to the scale of the originals, Jenny, or are these like magnified?
Roughly. So they also have given us, they have a real big archive online. But for instance, one of them that we just made the mold of, so this is like, I literally just opened it so the two parts are still attached. This is like this horn thing with claws.
Okay.
Cool.
It is actually huge in real life.
Okay.
But we were like obsessed with it as an object, so we needed to include it. And it turns out it's still actually very huge to fill with silicone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be giving these objects to youth and members of the public, and they're going to be creating games and interpreting these pieces. So once again, and the same sort of idea that Sarah and I kind of started thinking about when we were working as Crazy Dames and then working with you guys as well, is people thinking that they could have different agency in what they are working with and viewing museums, having different ways that they can help shape the outcome of a project as well. So that will be the first phase. You can see we have like a whole container of these fun flexi coins.
Are they all going to stay white?
Yes. So so we're also playing with like kind of unexpected aesthetics of like play against like stark backgrounds. And then the other component that I haven't spoken about is going to be all like luxe, gold, preciousness. So playing with that idea of how people would usually think of things in museums that they can't touch and can't play because they're expensive or they're priceless or they're behind glass. We're going to actually, the flip side will be using those materials to produce objects of play. So like balls, sticks, ropes, things like that. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So here's all the coins. And then I saved this exciting moment of removing this coin from the mold. Beep, 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 boop, boop, boop. Yay!
My gosh.
Got a little phalange here. Yeah.
How many in total are you making? This seems like an expensive project.
It is. Oh my God. Thank you, Toronto Arts Council.
I think that people people don't know how like much money and time goes into things like this. They like come into a museum, they're like, look, a pile of stuff to touch. And you're like, this took us 1,000,000 hours, and to make a mold costs so much money.
Yes. I don't think I'll necessarily make molds again. But because we were going to be making so many of them, so like we'll do different workshops in different locations potentially, we needed to have the same object in multiple. So like for instance, even we were experimenting, so there's actually 2 cow pigs.
Oh,
Okay.
So this is a clearish cow pig. We didn't like it as much, so here's a white cow pig.
yeah,
Yeah.
good call.
Yeah. So these all still need to get trimmed down and finalized, and yeah, but now we have more time to do it because
There
we
you
don't
go.
know when the show will be. The secret show. One day, Jasmine made this peacock chicken.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
Oh, they're so fun. I can't wait to like pick them up,
Yes.
play with them.
Yeah, and they're still really like greasy and shiny, but we'll trim them, cut off, take off the release agent. Yeah, so this was like, I do work sculpturally, and Anna and I've worked in installation before, but this is first time since undergrad that I've done molds. So going back, throwback. Mm-hmm.
Throwback. Yeah, I don't- I've really done molds since undergrad either, other than for like kid workshops. But like serious molds, no.
University? Making plaster hires?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
like the last
Yeah.
time I've done molds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's been fun. Yeah, but it's been a lot of trial and error.
Oh man,
Expensive trial and error.
trial and error. Our next show is also kind of like a storage thing. So it says flat graphica. It looks forwards to us and backwards to you, so that's fun. Imagine if we learned like that some of these things read backwards in a weird way. We have a few.
Or if you had ever printed something wrong and you share it on here and nobody knows.
Or you're like, oh no, that drawing's terrible because it's like really whack. Sometimes I'll look at drawings in the mirror to be like, oh, hey Caitlin. So a few years back, we got invited to come and do projects with Articulate Ink in Regina. They kind of ruined Regina in the sense that now anytime I say Regina, I get that Regina song stuck in my head.
Please sing it.
Sing it. Regina. Experience Regina. Did we nail it? I think we did.
I don't know. I've never heard the
It is
Regina
like-
song.
It is the best promotional video for any location ever
Ever.
shot in the entirety of history.
Jimmy Fallon actually had it on his show because it's so funny. Anyways, so while we were there, we contributed to this portfolio. So if people don't know, printmakers do this a lot. This is all just a bunch of backwards text where you basically...
You want to stack it up behind us?
Sure. You contribute an artwork, and a bunch of other printmakers contribute an artwork because the joys of multiples means that you can make more than one. And those will go together in a collection, and usually a portfolio will have like a theme. And I can't remember what the theme for this was, or if there was one. I apologize for forgetting. But, so this is like a collection of prints for this portfolio, which is lovely, but I always find like I don't know how to deal with things like this, because I don't want to separate the portfolio.
We also don't have 20 some odd IKEA frames to frame.
Or just like a wall to frame this much artwork properly.
Yeah.
But like it's this lovely this is supposed to be shown this way. I'm sorry. I won't probably be able to link all of the artists in this portfolio, but I can do my best.
Definitely try. Do you want to stack it behind us?
Sure. So yeah, we got to go and work with Articulate Ink. We like made prints in the studio. We did some workshops. We did some talks, like guest lectures, and they had like a whole print event going on while we were there. So there was like all these demos at the school, and yeah, it was like a really like lovely time. And we also got to participate in this like beautiful portfolio showcase.
Nice.
Great. And we haven't really like pulled these out since then because like I mentioned, we just have them in this portfolio in a drawer, sitting waiting for the right way to show it. So why not here? The text backwardsness
Do you want to
is
read
a
what
real.
this says backwards?
No, I'm not good at reading aloud. It's a fact. I'll get too nervous and I'll start saying words wrong. It's just the way that I am. Some of them are really shiny, and some of them, like this one, has like a little glittery to it, which I like a lot. Caitlin, I don't know if you remember what the theme was for this. I'm sure it says it on that first page that I brought out, that I've now stacked a bunch of stuff on top of. This one has like an amazing embossment on it, where these like red marks are.
You put it sideways a bit? Whiz. Okay.
Maybe for the back, Kyle.
Oh, the reveal.
The reveal.
They look like broccoli on the back.
They do look like
broccoli. There was no theme. April's. Oh yeah, this print is great.
Are you guys getting comments? I'm not getting any comments on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, they're all just saying like, it's Caitlin and Morgan because they actually know some of the work and they participated and were there. So, the one print I think that we just showed was April's print. We still have not found out who made that one print that we showed last week.
I don't know.
I really love this one. Is this Brian's print? I think it
really feels like a Brian Hode.
The beer store.
I know, it is Brian Hode. I thought so. But yeah, I really love portfolio exchanges. I feel like it's like a way that printmakers collaborate with one another, but also still have their own kind of practice. So they can make work that they really enjoy making, but still feel like they're part of a collaborative process, which I really enjoy. And then I like that you kind of get this opportunity to get a whole bunch of prints from people that you don't know. So you're collaborating with artists that you maybe have never met. And you get to have their work in your house. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it opens you up to people that you maybe aren't familiar with.
Or even to just see all the different ways people are approaching the same medium.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm actually scheduled to go to do a residency in Regina in August, connected to their Nuit Blanche through the Dunlop and the library system there. Fingers crossed that it happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I really like this one.
Hey, it's not the packing slip. It's like actually.
It works with our flat files theme because we ripped off forensic files.
Best show.
Caitlin's here. This is her print. It's a great.
Oh wow!
It feels so good, Jenny. Like,
yeah. And that's also like my favorite color of blue.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks so good. Oh, and the snake. Oh, perfect. Actually, that really connects to my last piece I have to share.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Good.
This guy.
I really liked how it shows how awkward you are when you're printing.
Yeah. I love watching like new people print, like that have never printed. So we recently had my mom come and screen print in the studio. And I didn't give her very much instructions because I wanted to see like how she tackled it. This one was mine. If she wasn't given much information, and it was hilarious. She didn't break anything, which was great.
Well, I know when my nails are getting too long because I'll hit the ink.
Just scoop it up with your fingernail. Ooh.
Yeah.
Spent an hour at Home Depot once trying to match that blue. It's a hard match, yes.
Yes, it's true. Brianna and I had a really intense time at Home Depot. I can't see the comments, so let me know what people are saying.
This is Edie's, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Edie has some like really nice Instagram stories. This one has like gold flecks in it. It's hard to show off stuff like that.
Yeah, there we go. You can see that gold. Look at that.
Ooh, the glassine's attached to this one. Yikes. But see, like, how am I ever going to display all these arts?
That one would really match all the pieces you have in the washroom.
That's true. It would.
New bathroom art.
But like,
Bathroom art,
do you
which is a
separate?
huge compliment. Whoa, that one's like messing with my head.
Yeah, this one is like has the nicest. It's like so soft. I don't
Depth
know.
of field. Depth of
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
Depth of field. Huh? Huh?
Good, Jenny. Good one.
Shout out to Mike Suddick. You on here, Mike Suddick? Yeah.
I thought I saw him join.
Oh, yeah.
You get a laugh.
This
My
one-
dad has a photography background.
I think
Whoa, is that
felt like
Kyle?
I was pushing him into a void or something while he was making this. Sorry, Kyle.
Wait, what?
My words, not mine.
I don't know. I guess I always like view it as like a reflection of like how he feels about the workplace, and it's just the woman of the workplace shoving the man out of the spaceship.
But it towards the world, like making that happen.
He doesn't look thrilled about it, Jenny.
No,
Well, I mean,
definitely not.
it's the unknown. Everyone's always a little apprehensive about the unknown, but they're better for it. They're better for it. Ooh,
I know. It's like a Viking ship.
nice.
I love Rob's embossed signature.
I know. Me too.
Yeah. Can we appreciate that embossment?
Rob has like an embossed signature on his. I'm not even gonna try to say his last name because I know that I'll do a terrible job.
Ooh,
That's
got his
like,
own shop.
right?
Yeah.
It's slick. And then the last one.
Nice.
I know.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah,
They're all so different.
we thought that it would be nice to kind of look at because I knew you were going to be talking a bit about like collaboration and working with community. And I feel like sometimes when people are like painters or printmakers, there's an assumption that they don't like necessarily collaborate in the same way as like an installation or performance artist would. But you know, this I think is like a good reflection of like one of the ways that people in the print world collaborate, and probably one that if you're not part of like printmaking, you might not know is a thing.
But I do think printmaking is so community based, like not just in access to the space. Like I think, you know, about sharing the processes and workshopping things. Because my master's is actually in print media from York University, but since then I've been doing a lot of like installation work and like community engagement work. But to me, like that idea of like kind of exchange and dissemination, it's also embedded in that training that I have in print.
Yeah.
That to me, it all like really makes sense. Not to mention the multiplicity, do everything 1,000 times.
Yeah.
That sounds like printmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
So here, I'll show you my last piece. I got to bring it over.
Okay.
Okay, so this as well is gold.
Oh.
So you might not be able to see too well. I can put it this way. So here, I'll point it towards the window. And what this actually is many snakes cut out. So do a digital drawing of a snake. So the color's a little weird. This is all like a bronzy gold, and they're airbrushed as well to show depth. And so they're made out of both vinyl and cut paper.
Yes.
I can show you too. I have one here. So this is actually part of a series of 3, eventually to be 4. And then this is one that's in progress. So you can see Brianna cruelly moved away, and she is my math. Brianna Toswell, who you guys will know, Penrose Press. You got to check them out if you don't know them already. Amazing artist, incredibly meticulous, very professional, though professionalism is not reflected in this. She helped me really figure out, working from Anna Rose and I did a residency 2 summers ago in Malta, which is my heritage on my mother's side. Yeah. And we were looking a lot about, Malta is really interesting because it's had occupation over thousands of years and a lot of sort of like colonized and recolonized through the Ottoman Empire, the British Empire, North Africa. So they have a lot of symbolism that's become a strange hybrid of all those things. And so there are actually also a bunch of temples that are thousands and thousands of years old that they don't actually know anything about because island of Malta is so small that there's no funding to research these spaces. They're all UNESCO World Heritage Sites, but they're estimated to be like older than Stonehenge and some of them older than the pyramids.
Wow.
So this one specifically, that's the work in progress, is the exact motif, actually this way, of an altarpiece that is found in one of the temples, where there's another stone piece further away in the temple that has a hole in it, and exactly on it every year in the summer solstice, a beam of light will come through and shine on this. And so, as I mentioned, all these are actually little snake cutouts that we do.
Oh, that's a good angle, Jenny.
Pardon?
That's a really good angle.
Okay, I'll just awkwardly stand like this for a really long time.
You're
So
getting
yeah, this is all done. I do a digital drawing. Brianna helped me with the math because I get these ideas where I'm like, yeah, fractals, those are a thing, right? Help me. So it takes a village. It takes a village to make my crazy ideas actually be something. And thank you, because I can't actually do it. And everyone's amazing who I've been working with. So to kind of look at these, where the different mythologies within Maltese culture are coming together, but also once again, kind of thinking of where these things that we encounter in museum spaces can be really ambiguous or interpreted in different ways, or symbols are used across cultures and might have conflicting meanings.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I wanted to share this piece because it is still so reflects how I like to work collaboratively, but also that it kind of is bringing it back to a little bit of my what we would think of as like the printmaking training, even though it's still three-dimensional.
Yeah.
But a lot of my work, one thing I've realized in the past few years is they're not really things people would have in their home. So I like to go back and thinking of these things that can be wall-based, and think about, now that I've been thinking about how people interact with things in different ways and how things can be tactile to people, or how you stand in a different place will make the work be different. Mm-hmm. What happens when I bring that back into something relatively 2D and something that could be in your everyday life, in your living environment as well. Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like you have a nice way of breaking things down into installation, but then also something that people can have, like that photograph that you gave us of the map that you did.
Oh yeah.
Sandbanks, the context of the map is obviously sort of lost in the abstracted photograph that you made, but the photograph is just a different interpretation, and it's really beautiful in its standalone way.
Yeah, well, it makes me think of performance artists, how some will document the work and then some will keep artifacts of the work, and then some won't do any of those things. And so what stands alone for what stands as a symbol of that moment of people interacting with each other, what stands alone of that being able to have access to something, kind of how these things are interpreted, and then down the line it becomes something else. And for instance, I made a few years ago, I made these interactive matchstick model kits where people could make, it was called Trap, make Bigfoot models, Bigfoot trap models. And it had the instructions, which were all screen printed. I had the box, which actually Hazel Eckert, who I didn't mention, who was also a studio assistant of mine, she helped me produce a series of 20 of them. She helped me cut and fold all the boxes. And so you could take that home and you could actually make that kit. But because it's a matchstick model kit, it would probably be tens, if not hundreds of hours to make it. So I did make one, which then allowed me to make the drawing, to dissect it, make the drawings, and to make the kit. The kit also came with the glue. It came with everything.
Susie says, hope you're keeping well, just so you know.
Pardon?
Susie says, hope you're keeping well.
Oh, thanks, Susie. How's my hair? I've been loving Susie's hair tutorials. So you could buy the kit, and in theory, you could make the matchstick model, and you could cover all my prints that I made in glue and cut them up in the process, or you could keep it as this precious art object on your shelf. Right. So I like that idea of handing something over to someone and they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
Galleries don't necessarily love that. Yeah. I've been very lucky to get many opportunities with like public spaces and museum spaces, like public galleries and museum spaces. And there's curators who work, you know, either not for profit or in education, who get like super excited about these things. But then I've had like studio visits with gallerists and they're like, what? You gave that away for free? And I'm like, or you could burn this. And they're like, stop
like,
saying that. Yeah.
For us, actually.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess you do you. Just not
You do you.
Yeah.
in our space.
Pardon? No,
So you do you, just not here in our space. That's
like to burn it like in your fire pit. I mean, you don't have a fire pit.
We have a fire pit. I'm saying that galleries are saying like you do you, but not with us.
Oh, I thought you meant like I wasn't supposed to mention that you have a fire pit based on zoning laws. So then I said you don't have a fire pit.
No, we're allowed to have a fire pit.
Okay.
This is our last one, and we know that it's backwards. It says coffee tastes best with a friend. And then it says a cup of coffee shared with a friend is happiness tasted and time well spent. And it's by Amos Kennedy. Do you know Amos's work?
No, but I know coffee.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we're kind of having coffee together because we also have coffee. So Amos is a printmaker out of the States, and he works in letterpress, obviously. But you can't see it in here, but this is like so thick. So he did a project at OCAD, so I wasn't sure if you would remember him.
No, I know the name. Yeah.
His work is amazing. I think he recently won an award. Yeah. But it's like layers and layers and layers and layers of type. And then usually some legible message on top. But all this color in the background is just layers of type being printed over and over
cool.
again.
Oh, that's a big flare.
Are there secret messages?
I have no idea. It's like so dense. Like so dense.
But I think that like letterpress is such a beautiful process and one that I haven't fully got the handle of. And he obviously has access to like amazing wood type that's very expensive. And I feel like a lot of printmakers that are working in letterpress right now obviously don't have, or I mean, many don't have access to studios. And it's just one of those processes where you cannot make this happen without the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen someone who made like they were in a tough spot and didn't have access to the press. So what they were doing is just taking spoons and rubbing it over all their letters.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely possible, but it's very time consuming and to like.
Oh, and you hurt your hand. Yeah.
Well, and like it's so thick and the embossment is like so amazing. So some of the letters you can't even really see the printing, but you can see the shape of the letter.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if maybe he just didn't ink up everything. And we have a Mary saying Jennie on here, and then also Morgan, you're right. We should frame it and put it in our kitchen.
Oh, well, now your kitchen's pink, right?
Yeah, it is. It would match. But I think that like right now, I know I've been on a lot of, I don't know if you've maybe been in the same boat, but I've been on a lot of online meetings recently with like groups that I was supposed to do projects with. And everybody's obviously feeling like very lonely and bummed out. And so I think I'm trying, like every time I'm pulling out pieces for these talks with Kyle, I feel like I'm like, let's put this up because it's a nice little message and it sort of works in the, like where we're at right now. Because I feel like with this, I'm like, oh yeah, I could just call somebody and like have a voice chat, drink a coffee, and you know, and that's a nice way to stay connected with someone, even though I can't physically go to them. Do stuff like this where I get to like hang out with you. We haven't seen each other in a while. We miss you very much. And see what you got going on and drink a coffee. And I think like just like simple little messages sometimes like help me sort of like, okay, I can still, this is doable. I can manage this. It's just different, you know?
Yeah.
Than it was.
I mean, I will say though, on the flip side, it does make me sad because the best coffee is the coffee down the street from your house.
It is really good.
So if anyone's thinking of doing a residency at Sparkbox, the most amazing coffee shop is down the street. The beans are from a place down the street from my house in Toronto, but it's really good. It's not as good. Yeah.
They make a good coffee. She's talking about Miss Lily's, just in case anybody's curious.
Shout out, give us free coffee.
We love Amos's prints. We think that they're just like really slick and sexy, and like you can't touch it because you don't have it in front of you, but it's like it just feels really nice, and it's like it's just luscious.
Yeah.
Probably the most toxic ink you can use. So we probably wouldn't. It would never look like this coming out of our
that looks very oil based.
Look at that lacquer. Yum. And he's just like amazing, and we think more people should like know of his work and like check him out because his work is just great, and he's super fun, and he makes overalls look baller. Like they look really great. I wish I owned overalls. Yeah, but we don't really know him. Like we've met him, but we don't know him, so I can't speak too much about like him as a person. But
no, just that he makes really great letterpress.
Yeah, and he's always seems very like in a happy mood whenever I have met him at events. So yeah, that's our last one.
Yeah, nice. Well, yeah,
thanks so much, Jenny. It was really thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you. I feel bad that I haven't been able to see the comments people have said, but hi everyone. It was awesome to share things.